It's not about what we do. If my ego is involved in you hearing what I say and accepting what I do and feeling appreciation for all I put into this relationship, then I'm not paying attention to me. I'm doing and looking externally for the impact. And that's what the ego does. The ego is the persona of fear. And our fear-based emotion says, if I don't do good enough, then I'm not going to be seen as good enough. But in truth, you are good enough. In fact, in truth, you are beyond good enough. You are amazing, right? So why not just be who you are? And in being who you are, sometimes you will do and sometimes you will not do. But you will be following the experience that you wish to have. And you will be leading with your heart. And all of a sudden that expression, which is exuding just you, can be readily embraced, received, and responded to. We're talking about self-mastery, and so far we've looked at how control is not self-mastery, freedom is, and how thoughts don't dictate self-mastery, but your experience and emotions do. And today we're going to talk about the difference between what we do versus who we are. We tend to think that behaviors are telltale. And you hear it all the time. It's not what you say, it's what you do. But it may not be either one of those things, right? It may be what you're really feeling inside. Maybe that person really does love you and doesn't know how to express it. Maybe they have a real fear of intimacy. So we want to move in self-mastery beyond the doing, beyond the thinking, and into the experience that lies beyond. And in that experience, you find who you are in truth. So it is about you being all that you are, not doing what needs to be done. Although we could say that some of that is. So let's look at that. Too often when working with people, I watch somebody work to do the right thing or to be kind or to take care of others. And I use one example in particular of a friend of mine who always says, I do everything for my family. I do everything for my partner. I do everything for them. All I want is for them to be happy. I do everything for them. I do for them. I do. And I'm like, whoa, stop. You don't have to do anything, because in the truth of who you are a very kind, caring man who would naturally just be thinking of others when you do. So if you stop trying so hard to do what you already are, then just by being you, you will exude a caring and a gifting to others in exactly the way you wish it to be felt. But they can't feel your gifts if you're doing them. They can feel your gifts much more clearly if you are them. So what is that doing versus being that we talk about here? When we look at self-mastery, we're moving beyond that which limits us into a place of freedom and joy. So when we're doing, we are more often than not trying to have an impact on someone else, or meeting an expectation of someone else, or doing what, same as an expectation, doing what somebody has asked us. But we're not starting from inside and knowing with our gut, not our head, that we are what we gift. And that takes a little bit of transcendence beyond what we do into who we are. So let me talk a little bit about that. In doing, as in the example, we get caught up in the ego needing to do the right thing and be seen for who we already know we are. Oftentimes in this life, a person experiences shame, and that shame is a judgment that they can feel inside isn't who they are, and they don't know why they're seen in a way that is incongruent with how they know they are in truth. That happens to almost all of us. And so when we have that difference inside, we want to be clear on who we are. So we do things to show others that we aren't what they think we are. Okay, that's a messy equation, right? too many pieces, parts in that. And when we master this life, it's very, very, very simple. Well, not that we actually master this life, but in life mastery, we see that life is very, very simple. So it's not about what we do. If my ego is involved in you hearing what I say and accepting what I do and feeling appreciation for all I put into this relationship, then I'm not paying attention to me. I'm doing and looking externally for the impact. And that's what the ego does. The ego is the persona of fear. And our fear-based emotion says, if I don't do good enough, then I'm not going to be seen as good enough. But in truth, you are good enough. In fact, in truth, you are beyond good enough. You are amazing, right? So why not just be who you are? And in being who you are, sometimes you will do and sometimes you will not do. But you will be following the experience that you wish to have, and you will be leading with your heart. And so you will be free on the inside. And in freedom, you are open. And so now, through self-mastery, we see how in that freedom and in that listening to your heart and the experience you wish to have, that you stand in that space of who you are, and you just are you. And all of a sudden, that expression, which is exuding just you, can be readily embraced, received, and responded to by all around you. You'll find a great change, and I can tell you this from personal experience, a great change occurs in all of your relationships, because that willingness to open your own self then is felt as genuine and real. So the gifts you give go far beyond anything you could do, and embrace all that you are and all that those around you are. So as we look at self-mastery, we know we're working towards freedom. And today what we're talking about is moving beyond the limitations of doing, because we can only do so much, and then letting go and being who you are. So how might you do that? Well, you're going to use what you do as the doorway into who you are. Do you find that you're always doing things to please others, to take care of others, to be kind, right? If you're always doing these things, listen to yourself, right? I'm doing this for this reason. I'm doing this for this reason, right? I'm doing it to be good. One person, always thinking when they get to a stop sign, did I stop long enough? Did I do it right? So any of those thoughts, which are about what you're doing, are going to open the door to who you already are, because you know that you're stopping because you don't want to hurt anybody, or you want to follow the rules. Well, if you want to follow the rules, is that obedience, or are you trying to be seen as good enough? So if you are trying to be seen as good enough, then no, the only reason you're concerned about that is because you are good enough. If you're trying to be kind to everyone, know that you don't have to do kindness. You are kindness. If you're trying to be caring of everybody else and put everybody else, show everybody you take care of them, remember that you don't have to do any of that. By virtue of the fact that you're even thinking and doing in that way, you are a caregiver in your heart. So become who you are. Let go of that stress of needing to do, because now you're looking for the external reward. That's the ego. Stay inside yourself. Know the experience of who you are and the experience you wish to have. Bring who you are and what you are to the table, and let it just emanate from you. Be the gift you are. Use those do things as doorways into who you are, and be the beautiful you. Thank you so much for joining me, and please visit KristenBomas.com, where you can easily access all of my social circles.